Hey guys, I hope you all have an wonderful day, and today I'm going to be showing you how to play Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie is a really interesting operator, but just to start off with her loadout, pretty much what you want to do is use a reflex. I use angled grip because I can control the recoil, and I like to play aggressive. I use laser just because when you're close up you can just hit fire, and I don't think it really affects too much of being spotted, I guess. And then for the barrel, use the compensator. Okay, the thing with Valkyrie, there's many ways to play her. Now you have like the passive or aggro. Now passive is pretty much where you put your cams near the sights or like where they're most likely going to push. So team play cameras are like, so A, there's one way to push A, which is this main 90 here. This is what you call 90s here. So you can push here to push A, or there's usually this way to push B. So if you're playing a team camera, you can usually put like a camera down there. You can barely see that, but you can pretty much see everything. You can destroy this to look down here. However, it will be more visible. But I'll show you that if you do destroy it, you can start to see down there. So this is a really high traffic area when trying to push B or A, to see down here. And the next thing is, actually I wanna, okay, so like I was saying, there's team cameras and then cameras you have for yourself. So this is a team camera and it covers where they're most likely to push, because there's usually two ways they can push, either there or 90s, and then the last way is stairs, main stairs are out here. So usually what I like to do is I usually have like a camera hidden in here just to cover this area here, and then I will come outside and throw a camera like that, and then it covers the ruins rappel, and then it covers the hall here, main stairs and hall, and then this covers the landing and pretty much some of 90. So these are all team cameras. These are to help your teams. Although you can, another trick I like to do is sit here at the beginning of the round, throw that out, watch for anyone running. If they go to repel, you can run out, quickly kill anyone repelling. But if people see this door, they usually like to just sit and hold, or sit down there and hold it. So you need to be careful of some of those things. I'll quickly go pick up these cameras now. So they're team cameras. Now so that's more passive play, team play, and then you have the aggro play, which I'll show you now. So you have team cameras just pretty much cover where they're most likely to push. So if you just look at an objective of where they're most likely to push and make sure you have a cam covering that area. And another thing I'd like to mention is make sure you have your cameras low down, because if your teammates, like this is for solo queue, if your teammates start pinging, they're gonna like look up. Oh, where's the camera? They never really look down. So it's important that you put your cameras like under things, just to make it harder to see. And then for the for this objective here in trophy, there are, so this would be a team camera. So you can put it in here. So you can put a cam in here just to cover this area, to cover a bedroom where they're most likely to push, because this is a really high traffic area. So this would be a team camera. Now I think I pretty much mentioned the basics of what you want to do. Now that's more team cameras. Those cameras are more for covering the areas they're most likely to push, just to gather intel, which is really important, and that's more team play. The other way is setting up cameras on site. So if I set up a camera kind of there, kind of hidden, you can't see it from out here because of the plane. So when you're pushing, You can't see because this plane is in the way. So this play style is more of pulse play. So you're scanning, you don't really want to scan, but your teammate's most likely going to scan. And then you see, oh, there's one planting behind vault door. And then I instantly know, because I know this map, that if I ping here, yep, that's going to be behind the vault door. So I can just see for that when they're planting, and boom, that's going to be them dead. So the first play style I said is more team play and just covering high traffic areas for when they're pushing. So that's just more teamwork. This play style is more pulse, like an alternative to pulse. So you can put one on that site, I don't know, put one on this site just to cover this area. You can see all around, and it's like really hard to even notice that. So you see the planting. Okay, so you come on the cam and you go, okay, they're planting, chuck it right there, because I know that if they're planting behind the bar, they would just get blown up. If I can pick that up, please. So those are just things you want to learn, like how to pretty much play from below and see from above, and put cameras on site. So you can either put them on site to use C4 to your advantage, or put them in areas like up here to just cover the areas of where they're most likely to push, just for more teamwork. So it's really up to you where you want to put the cameras. There's other things like this, where you put a camera here, and then you open up the top of this, and then you just line yourself up for plays like this, and then you know that when they're repelling 90s window and trying to get angles onto anyone, maybe anchoring here, you can use that, and then boom, that's going to be them dead. And then you obviously have that camera to see if they're repelling up here. So you have stuff like that that's more aggro. And then you do have like this spawn killing, or just in general aggressive cameras. Like I'll show one right now. Like just really simple things, like in the prep phase you just run out. I don't have a camera, but run out, just chuck a cam up there, quickly check on it, see who's in the spawn, and then get some cheeky spawn kills. And then obviously overall there is just the learning curve of just, you know, learning where the best cams are. But without that you can just pretty much find spots yourself. You can just find Valkyrie cam spots yourself, just by kind of learning the game. And also the MPX, her weapon, it kind of forces you to play in that play style of always going for headshots, and that will be really good then when switching back to other operators, because you're going to have that habit of just always flicking to the head. Because I will show you a clip right now, and you can see I start shooting at her body, and then I realise that like my aim wasn't like right, so I quickly flick up to her head because I know it's going to be weak shooting at her body.
Twitches and stuff.
So you know, stuff like that would just become a habit when playing Valkyrie. So that's pretty much everything, I believe. So you have cameras for team play and where they're most likely to push. So you have a camera here to cover this away for 90 and just landing. And then if you have an anchor here, you can tell them if someone's pushing. And then you have a camera there to watch the 90s, and then you can have that C4 come over to protect this anchor here. You just have stuff like that in general. You have the pulse play, you can just play under, and then you have the aggressive play where you just pretty much throw cams outside and you just do a bunch of runouts and that. So that's another thing. I think I've pretty much like covered everything that I know about Valkyrie. But if I feel like this video wasn't too good and I missed out a lot, and then I'll probably redo it again. But let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of this video? Did I cover enough? Do you want a more advanced guide on Valkyrie? Yeah, do you want a more advanced guide on Valkyrie, or was this good enough? Or who else would you like to see? And that is pretty much everything. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and goodbye.